Hello and welcome to Henry Wheeler's Movie Reviews, where we take a look at films that I've never seen before but others likely will have done. And I thought, let's resurrect my National Pride series, because today we celebrate Afghanistan's independence from the UK in 1919. Yes! Afghanistan is a landlocked country which bridges the confines of Central and South Asia. It's bordered by Pakistan to the east and south, Iran to the west, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan and Tajikistan to the north, and China to the northeast.
China.
It's a very mountainous country with plains in the north and southwest also, and the capital is Kabul, and it has an almost completely Muslim population with 39 million people, including many different ethnic groups such as the majority, Pashtun, along with Tajik, Hazara and Uzbek, among others. Afghans, particularly Pashtuns, are noted for their tribal solidarity and high regard for personal honour. There are various Afghan tribes and an estimated 2 to 3 million nomads. Also, carpet weaving is an ancient practice in Afghanistan, and many carpets are still handmade by tribal and nomadic people today. Thank you, Wikipedia. I first became aware of Osama when I think it was in a list of the best world cinema films, which is a term that I hate. I find it really condescending. So yeah, I don't like using the word world cinema, because essentially it suggests that US cinema is central to everything and world cinema is basically a other tag that's slapped on. And I find that grossly unnecessary and infantilizing to a certain extent. This is one that's been on my radar for a long while, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to finally watch it. So here we go. Well, so we're thrown into Taliban era of Afghanistan, which opens with a protest for women's rights to work, which is interrupted by the Taliban, who break it up by shooting a high-powered water hose at everyone and arresting whoever doesn't get away in time, which is a pretty powerful way to open a film. We're then following a family whose patriarch has been killed in battle, leaving no man to go out and provide for them, so they have to resort to just going out secretly and hoping that men will help them in pretending to be the man of their house. One day they decide, look, we've had enough, and decide to cut off the hair of their daughter in the family and portray them as a boy and send them out so they can provide for the family. We never learn the name of the girl, but shortly afterwards a young boy named Aspandi, who knows her, threatens to out her, but shortly afterwards slowly but surely becomes a friend and names her Osama. Then Osama gets a job in a shop with a man who helps conceal her identity, but Osama starts to grow suspicious that others know their real identity. This is a genuinely horrifying watch, and I can't imagine living in such strict circumstances where you're not allowed to listen to music. Women not only have to completely cover up, but can't be alone in the street and require a man to accompany them. And if they don't have one, then they're not allowed to leave the house, effectively leaving them to slowly die of starvation or dehydration, whichever happens quicker. I cannot stress enough how dire this situation is. There's a scene where the mother and the daughter are being accompanied on a bicycle with a man, and they're stopped by the Taliban, who scold this guy for being irresponsible because this may cause arousal in the men walking by. You're probably wondering why this is. It's because her feet are exposed. Her feet. Also, this is probably the only time I've ever seen a close-up of feet in a film where it wasn't fetishistic. Looking at you, Quentin. But nothing must be visible. Not even knees. Who finds knees sexy? But regardless, its portrayal of religious fundamentalism feels very authentic. You don't feel like you're watching a recreation. It feels very realistic. You see so much of the flaws of this sort of ideology in all its glory, or lack thereof. Especially in a scene where these children are taken to a madrasa, it's a military training school for boys. They're shown how to conduct their ablutions and to cleanse themselves after they've had wet dreams. Oh. And also whenever they have a bit of rumpy-pumpy action with their significant other. Which in this case, you need to be married. So, wet dreams is the only way that you're able to do that outside of marriage, because wanking's a real no-no. The parts where Osama is being bullied because she acts like a girl are really unnerving, purely because you don't really know what's going to happen if the people in charge find out. And there's points where you feel like they may be suspicious that something's going on, but you're not sure how much they actually know, or if they know. It's like a boiling pot and you're just waiting for it to spill over. Being made to climb a tree just to prove that you're a boy is ridiculous. It also displays just how toxic masculinity is, especially when it's condensed into its most concentrated form. I can imagine being trans in high school must be very difficult. While this isn't a story about a transgender boy, or a transgender girl for that matter, it is about someone being outed for their gender identity. There's obvious parallels to be drawn with the cartoon saloon film The Breadwinner, which has a similar plot, although that has far more hope and light to it, whereas this just leaves you in a constant concern that things are about to go very sour indeed, and they do. This film pulls no punches whatsoever and unflinchingly displays the horrors of the Taliban regime. The photography in this film is really great, with some lovely tracking shots, and the acting all around is brilliant, in particular from Marina Golbahari, who plays the titular role. She delivers a really great performance that's truly knockout, and is maybe one of the best that I've seen from a child, I think. Reading up about the director, Sadiq Marbach, he sounds like an amazing individual. He's really helped try to develop actors and directors to improve Afghan cinema by promoting literacy, culture, and the arts to children. Also, I won't give the ending away, but it has a slightly ambiguous finale which recalls a previous event that's pretty suggestive, and if it's hinting at what I think it is, that's got to be one of the bleakest endings I think I've ever watched. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Sadly, this film is more pertinent than ever, with the Taliban reclaiming Afghanistan in the last few days, and they've said very clearly that things can carry on as normal and that women will be able to work. I'm reminded of the fable about the frog and the scorpion, where the scorpion wants to cross the river, the frog doesn't want to because they're scared that the scorpion will sting them, and they reassure the frog, no, I'm not going to sting you. As they're crossing the river, the scorpion stings the frog, and the frog just goes, why'd you sting me? You said you wouldn't do it. He just goes, well, it's in my nature. I really fear for everyone in Afghanistan currently, especially the women and the children. You can thank the West for all of this. I know we're ending this on a rather somber note, but do try and watch this film. It's available on YouTube. It's incredibly relevant and very striking, and just still has the same amount of potency as it did in 2003. And if you have seen it, let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Let's hope that there's some possibility of a bright future for all of these Afghans. Hopefully many of them can gain asylum in other countries, but we'll see. I'll see you all soon.